If they can become the micro strategy of Link, it's going to be worth $100 billion in the future. And right now its market cap is $20 million. TAO Synergies is buying up BitTensor. The market cap of this asset. In this video, we're going to talk about digital asset treasury companies. Why? Because we're all about life-changing returns on this channel by being an early-stage investor in undiscovered assets. One of the assets we could have made life-changing returns on if we caught it early was MicroStrategy. On November 18, 2022, the price of this was $17. Now it's $304. That's a digital asset treasury company of Bitcoin. What about Bitmine Immersion Technologies? This is an Ethereum digital asset treasury company. On June 25, 2025, it was $4. Now it's $52. These assets can do very well. What about MetaPlanet? May 2024, it was 28 Japanese yen. It pumped all the way to 1,800 Japanese yen. Now it's corrected, but that's the type of move these assets can make. This is kind of a brand new asset class. It's a revolutionary asset class. You're using public stock markets to raise capital to buy crypto. And there's a reason they perform so well. And this is all kind of in what's been a multi-year crypto winter. We're starting to get out of it, but we've seen unbelievable returns in these assets. And so in this video, we're going to rank the best digital asset companies, and we're going to figure out which ones can actually provide life-changing returns. Totally undiscovered assets. Does not get better than this if you're an early stage investor, because we've seen what they can do. We know the world is totally sleeping on altcoins, which means they're totally sleeping on these digital asset treasury companies of altcoins. First up, EIGHTCO. We talked about this in last week's video. This is a digital asset treasury company of WorldCoin. It's been skyrocketing. It's been doing very well. And one of the main reasons of that is because Dan Ives begins global tour to promote World Network. Over the weekend, he's been in Asia promoting this asset. Dan Ives is the chairman of the company. He's literally on CNBC all the time. He's on traditional finance. He was early to Palantir, early to Tesla, early to NVIDIA. Now he's the chairman of this company. So literally any traditional financial news network will have him, and he's going to be promoting this asset everywhere, all over Asia. And this company buys WorldCoin. That's all it does. It does a few other things, which we'll get into, but that's its primary purpose. So as we mentioned last week, EIGHTCO Holdings announced $250 million private placement with an additional $20 million strategic investment from Bitmine to initiate world's first WorldCoin treasury strategy. So Bitmine, we just talked about, a multi-billion-dollar Ethereum treasury company investing in this asset. That's run by Tom Lee, also on traditional finance networks all the time. Dan Ives, Tom Lee, Sam Altman is the creator of WorldCoin. Again, if you want to know more about WorldCoin, watch last week's video. Sam Altman, the creator of ChatGPT, essentially, is also the creator of WorldCoin. The most powerful person in artificial intelligence today is the creator of WorldCoin. Now, we didn't mention this in last week's video, but this is in the EIGHTCO marketing materials for why WorldCoin is bullish. So the WorldCoin Foundation, which Sam Altman is a huge part of, invested in EIGHTCO. And this is in the EIGHTCO promotional materials. World ID will be used as a single sign-on in the future. Guess what they have over here to the left? ChatGPT. Obviously. The creator of ChatGPT created WorldCoin. He sees a future where we need verification of humanness in a digital world. And he created WorldCoin to do that. Obviously, it's going to be connected straight into ChatGPT. The traditional finance world probably isn't quite ready to adopt or accept or get excited about a crypto project yet, but they're waiting to announce the integration of WorldCoin into ChatGPT. That's going to send WorldCoin, in my humble opinion, to $50, $60, $70, I don't know, to $100 billion market cap at least, and beyond, when they announce that ChatGPT is going to be integrating WorldCoin. Microsoft is also an investor in OpenAI, which owns ChatGPT. They also have Microsoft over here. And let's not forget this headline that everyone's forgotten and has slept on. Sam Altman is bringing WorldCoin's controversial eye-scanning orb to Reddit and Microsoft. This was in March 8, 2024. So the world's just been sleeping on crypto, but this is the game we're playing. We're covering the most undiscovered, high upside potential assets on the planet. These digital asset treasury companies has to be EIGHTCO. Has to be on that list. Now, I mentioned the downside of this asset. You could see it as a downside, but you could also see it as a potential upside. So EIGHTCO's market cap as of the recording of this video is $1.8 billion. That is a massive market cap. Remember, they only raised about $300 million to buy WorldCoin. But this is how digital asset treasuries work. When there's a premium in the stock, meaning the stock is worth way more than the underlying asset, well, this is what they do. This is what MicroStrategy did. This is kind of the playbook. When the MNAV, which is the fully diluted market cap of the company divided by the treasury value, meaning the market cap of the company divided by the underlying asset. So the market cap is like 1.8 billion. The underlying treasury that they have is like 300 million. So there's a massive premium. What happens when the MNAV is massive? Well, for MicroStrategy, when it's above 4, strategy will actively issue shares to acquire Bitcoin. Well, ORBS will actively issue shares to acquire WorldCoin. So the bigger the premium, the more WorldCoin they can acquire cheap. And when the MNAV goes below the treasury, when it's below 1, strategy will consider issuing credit to repurchase MSTR. So this is why these digital asset treasury companies are a revolution of finance. They're unbelievable vehicles for acquiring crypto. So ORBS on the top of the list. Again, we're ranking the top 3. More information about ORBS. EIGHTCO Holdings expands its strategic vision into the enterprise. This is October 10, 2025. EIGHTCO today announced the launch of a new pilot program focused on advancing AI authentication for the enterprise. The initiative will identify and develop innovative approaches to address emerging identity and verification challenges as enterprises scale their use of AI. So they're not just a digital asset treasury company. This is going to add a premium to the stock because they have another way of earning revenues. With trillions of dollars being invested in AI, the lack of scalable human-proof authentication has become a critical enterprise challenge, says Dan Ives. Over the last month, we've heard from many enterprise technology vendors that they are seeking secure, verifiable identity solutions as they scale AI workloads and applications. So they've heard from many enterprise technology vendors, right? Their ears to the ground. They're deeply connected with ChatGPT and OpenAI, and they're figuring out a way to capitalize and get additional revenue streams by leveraging WorldCoin technology. So obviously, that asset is at the top of the list. We're going to go through 2 more, and we're going to rank them. The next one on the list has to be Caliber Company. This is the only digital asset treasury company for Chainlink. The only one. This is how much the world is sleeping on Chainlink and these other altcoins that aren't Bitcoin or Ethereum. Here's the chart. It pumped. It's corrected, right? A beautiful correction because the world doesn't understand anything about these assets. That's our opportunity as early stage investors. So the market cap of CaliberCos, the world's first Chainlink treasury company, is $18.29 million as of the recording of this video. Let's see what their treasury is worth. Well, as of September 30th, 2025, they had $10 to $11 million of cash. And their Link treasury, they had $10 million of Link tokens. So right there, that's like $20 million of assets. The market cap is below that. Yes, Link sold off significantly in the meltdown on Friday, October 10. And so the company fell with it. But this company has $10 million of cash on their balance sheet ready to deploy, which means they're going to buy more and more and more Link. They're also going to be staking the Link. EIGHTCO hasn't committed to staking WorldCoin, which is going to be possible in the future, but CaliberCo is excited to be staking their Chainlink and earning revenue on it. So because of this crash in the Chainlink price, that just opened up a massive opportunity for them to deploy their $10 million plus of capital. This is where they were on June 30, 2025, $0.6 million of cash in the bank. So as soon as they announced that they're becoming a digital asset treasury company for Chainlink, their balance sheet ballooned and they were able to raise a massive amount of capital. Now they control something like $20 million of Chainlink. Imagine holding $20 million of Chainlink. You get exposure to a company that is doing just that at below the value of the treasury by owning CaliberCo. Massive. Our goal is to create one of the largest Link treasuries held by a public company. The CEO said, we believe this strategy strengthens our balance sheet, expands liquidity options, and aligns Caliber with the future of capital markets. The only real downside with these assets is you have to put faith in the team to execute. It's hard to mess anything up when you have $20 million of Chainlink and counting. Imagine how bullish your balance sheet becomes when you have that much of the world's most important digital asset at this point. We cover Chainlink all the time. We know how bullish it is. Well, this company is smart enough to realize that. They've scooped up a massive bag. And so again, we have to put faith in the teams. That's why diversification makes sense. But unbelievable vision for this company. If they can become the micro strategy of Link, it's going to be worth $100 billion in the future. And right now its market cap is $20 million. Not financial advice, but that's the potential. Caliber is an alternative investment manager with over $2.9 billion in managed assets and a 16-year track record in private equity real estate investing across hospitality, multifamily, and industrial real estate. So they're doing more than just buying Chainlink, but again, they have a massive bag. So very exciting asset. And also, Blake Hanover, CEO of Hanover Inc., has joined Caliber's crypto advisory board. Hanover has ticker DFDV. It's a multi-$100 million treasury company that's buying up Solana. So Kraken is an investor in Hanover. So they're starting to get some institutional clout as well, right? So we have EIGHTCO, we have Caliber Company, ridiculous assets, brand new asset class, unbelievable way to get exposure to some of these assets. MicroStrategy led the way. We have the playbook. Now we just have to find the companies that have trustworthy teams and are buying up the right undiscovered assets. The upside is ridiculous. Now, third on the list is TAOX Synergies. Talk about undiscovered assets, right? WorldCoin, no one's heard of. Chainlink, no one's talking about or has heard of. What about TAO? BitTensor, TAO. Well, TAO Synergies is buying up BitTensor. The market cap of this asset is $24 million, a tiny market cap. Here's what TAO Synergies is all about. TAO Synergies stock jumps 13% after a $10 million investment in decentralized AI. It now becomes the largest BitTensor holder. So this tiny market cap company is the largest holder of the BitTensor token. So if you're bullish BitTensor, this is a way to get exposure. TAOX has accumulated 42,000 BitTensor tokens to date as a part of its differentiated digital asset treasury strategy. That's a lot of tokens. Imagine owning that many Bitcoin. The tokenomics of BitTensor are the same as Bitcoin. There's still 21 million fixed supply. There's halving schedules. These guys scooped up 42,000 of that asset. As of the recording of this video, the price of BitTensor is $406, which means their treasury is worth $17 million. So they're trading slightly above cash, it would seem. But if you're bullish BitTensor, you have to be ridiculously bullish this tiny market cap asset because, again, what makes these digital asset treasury companies special is their ability to raise capital and buy more and more and more of the asset. And the more of the asset they own, the better the balance sheet looks, the more money they can raise. And what happens when the underlying asset goes up? The company looks even better and they can raise more money. You do have to put faith in the leadership, but MicroStrategy has proven that this works. Metaplanet has proven that this works. It's really hard. Again, it's hard to mess these companies up when you have some of the most revolutionary digital assets on the planet on your balance sheet. TAO Synergies launches the TAO Daily, the premier media platform for all things BitTensor. They're creating media properties. They're doing more than just buy BitTensor. TAO Synergies welcomes top BitTensor TAO leader as advisor for AI-focused crypto treasury strategy. The Joseph Jacks was brought on as an advisor. He's led major investments, including a $10.5 million Series A funding round for Manifold Labs. Through OSS Capital, which is his venture capital firm, he has directed over 40 investment rounds, totaling more than $200 million in funding. The appointment aims to enhance TAOX's strategy beyond token staking to include active ecosystem contributions for active TAO revenue generation. So obviously we have trustworthy heavy hitters managing this company. Unreal. This is really exciting stuff. BitTensor leads the AI token rally on Barry Silbert's $10 million flagship fund. So Barry Silbert, multi-billionaire investor in Bitcoin, also investing heavily into BitTensor. We cover BitTensor all the time on this channel, so if you want to learn more, go check out some of these videos. Today we're talking about digital asset treasury companies, my three favorite: EIGHTCO, TAOX, CWD. Very difficult to rank them. I personally would need to own an equal amount of all three to diversify, because we have Chainlink, we have TAO, we have WorldCoin, we have the world just waking up to these assets. We know these assets outperform the underlying asset. That's what we've seen with MicroStrategy. That's what we saw with Metaplanet in its first pump. Thank you for watching. If you want to know exactly what my portfolio looks like, which of these I own, you can follow me on Patreon. But the sky's the limit, and again, does not get more exciting than this.